Soon after World War II came to an end, America began to export a new type of cinema that featured a new type of big-screen star. A new breed of actor emerged from the old Hollywood system. There was a clear difference. There was something more real, visceral, and authentic about the performances and the dramatic environment that they inhabited.
Hey, Stella!
An example can be found in the milestone production On the Waterfront.
And that film went around the world, and film actors began to shape their acting technique based on that performance. It was a distinct watershed change of how acting was done in movies.
This acting technique, derived from the Russian Stanislavski system, became known in America as the method. A young actor from Japan, and millions like him from other parts of the world, who saw these films and worshiped these stars, dreamed of becoming one himself. His wish came closer to reality when director Elia Kazan wrote him to come to study in America with master teacher Bobby Lewis. Bobby Lewis and Kazan founded Actors Studio, the American temple of method study. And it was Bobby Lewis, along with Kazan and other teachers such as Lee Strasberg, Sanford Meisner, and Stella Adler, who interpreted Stanislavski's system to formulate their own concept of the method. The actor from Japan accepted Kazan's invite. He saw it as a rare and special opportunity to unlock the mystery and meaning of the method. But would he?
I always say there is no such thing as the method. It's a method. And people adapt and develop different methods.
All people who speak against what they call the method, all they're really talking about are actors who flaunt their own instruments in a way that does not follow the clarity of the script.
My work with the method is rather backward, in that the actor utilizes themselves first and then absorbs the dialogue of the play, and consequently the idiosyncrasies of speech, etc., become a part of them.
Well, Noel Coward used to say, he's one of the great ones too. He said, he told actors his method was speak up and keep out of the way of the furniture, which is good advice.
Bobby was very interested in style and in character, but he was much more interested in playwright's intentions, and he felt that was paramount.
He felt that Lee Strasberg was emphasizing too much the half of Stanislavski's teaching that has to do with the inner life, totally ignoring and even maybe demeaning the other half of it, which is the development of the body and the voice and integrating those all into a characterization.
It was essential Kazan. You join the emotion, but only if you can find an active base for it. And different from Bobby, who arrived at active choices, but in a more sedate way. So that I would say that he falls really between where Kazan was and where Strasberg was.
I studied with Lee first, and I was so confused by what Lee said that I went to Sandy Meisner. And when I first went to him, I'll never forget this. He said, "You're at the Actors Studio? I don't want to take you in my class." He ultimately agreed to take me on in his professional classes. And I actually learned acting technique from Sandy, motivation, studying a script. Then I went back to the studio, and then I was able to work at the studio. Many people who went to the studio had studied first with Sandy or with Stella.
I think they had a huge conflict over Stanislavski because it was it was kind of dumb. The intensity and recalling your childhood, and when all you needed was forget about your childhood.
Sergio Leone was directing a man who was not an actor. And he said to him, I want you to do something for me. Count from 1 to 10, angry. And the Italian said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Good, he said, wonderful. When I saw the movie, this man is not an actor, and he's getting big, big laughs, and I'm the actor, and I don't count.
When you have to shoot, shoot, don't talk.
And I don't know whether you remember the last scene in Roman Holiday, which is the most beautiful scene where she's looking at Gregory Peck and her eyes are filled with tears. And I didn't understand, how could she do this? So I said to her later, Audrey, how did you do that scene? How are you able to do this? She said, 50 takes. 50 takes. And if you remember that scene, she won the Academy Award.
To any actor, I would say, do not do more than 6 months of studying acting.
Well, we did a peculiar film called Missouri Breaks. What happened was we didn't have a good, complete script. But there's one big scene in the picture. This is right before Brando gets killed at the end. And I said to Brando, we don't have anything of your life outside of the circumstances that we've seen in the film. He said, I'll tell you what, get me a horse and get me a mule and some carrots and leave me alone.
No, kiss first.
And he started being this character that he was playing, living in the woods with a horse and a mule, and he developed a family relationship with the horse and mule, where the horse was a good life companion, the mule was not.
That for you, and your disloyalty and your treachery.
He built this elaborate scenario on his feet.
It's very hard to say why you like an actor. You believe them. And then somebody else will come along about any other actor and say, you know, I just don't believe them. And you can't even argue about it. You say, well, I do. It's so subjective, which is why an actor's life is so uncertain all the time. People say to them, you know, I'd like to hire you, but I just don't believe you. Well, you can't argue with that. You can't say, oh, no, yeah, I can make it so you believe me. Well, you can say that and you try it. It doesn't work usually.
Method or madness.